Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. And this morning we saw the markets gap down. And since then, after a little bit of selling off the open, they have started working their way higher. They are working on green candlesticks that are forming on the daily candles today as the markets go a little bit quiet into the afternoon session. But what I want to do this afternoon is follow up on the study that we looked at this morning out of our bias alerts. It did end up triggering. I wasn't sure if it was going to because I wasn't sure if we were going to open below the prior day low, but we did. And that made that pattern true for today. And the pattern was based upon opening below the prior day low when the 5-day simple moving average of the VIX is less than the 25-day simple moving average of the VIX, and you are above a 10 and 200-day simple moving average. So kind of a bull market pattern that's being described there in those indicators. When that happens and you open below the prior day low, the long bias signals, and it's historically favored the long side. I'm going to go ahead and load this in here. And what I want to do this afternoon is take this same study and apply it to the afternoon session with just a little bit of additional information with what we know has happened here this afternoon. So let me go into symbol and settings, and I'll go ahead and add the other instruments to it. And then I'll change the setup from entering at the open, which is what I was just showing you, to I'm going to put the entry time down at the later portion of the day. I'm going to do 3 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm going to make it a long. And then I'm going to take the exit and make that an end of day exit, so that'll get out at the close of regular trading hours. And then lastly, I'm going to add just a little bit of additional information from what we know has happened here in the regular trading hours of the session today. So I'm just going to come in here and say we are trading above the open at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll find out officially at 3 p.m. if that is true. But currently we are trading well above the open in the different markets right now. So I'm going to add that, and then we'll update this study by clicking View Results. All right, and here we go. So these are the results of going long at 3 p.m. Eastern time, exiting at the close 4:15 p.m. Eastern time when using this same pattern from our bias alerts. So the pattern is the 5-day moving average of the VIX is less than the 25-day moving average of the VIX. You are above a 10 and 200-day simple moving average, and you open below the prior session low. So that's kind of the daily pattern. And then at 3 p.m., you're trading above the opening price. If that is true, historically, we've got 103 samples in the S&P dating back to 2003. The NASDAQ, 79 samples, the Dow, 102 samples, and the Russell, 59 samples. And if we look at the win rates on these, all of those win rates are north of 50%. We've got the S&P at 61%. The S&P was the strongest off of the open as well. This pattern off of the open was about 65%. And it looks like into the afternoon, if you're trading above the open at that time, it's still pretty favored at 61%, just not quite as strong as it was for entering at the open. The NASDAQ, 51%. So this one was stronger at the open. It looks like it's come down here later in the afternoon, and it's more neutral here. The Dow coming in at 55%. That one, again, a little bit less than what it was entering at the open. I believe the opening win rate was around 60%. And then the Russell at 58%. That's pretty similar to what it was entering at the open. So still win rates leaning on the bullish side with this updated version of the pattern where you're trading above the open at 3 p.m. Eastern time. A quick look at the average win, average loss. Looks like the average win a little bigger than the average loss in the S&P. Average win bigger than the average loss in the NASDAQ. Pretty similar in size for the Dow, and average win a little bit larger than the average loss in the Russell. So all four of these have at least neutral to slightly favored win rates, and they also are skewed a little bit more on the average win size versus the average loss size. So hopefully you found that helpful. Good luck today, and we will see you next time.